Rain hammered against the windshield as I pulled into my parents' driveway. The call had come an hour earlier. Your father collapsed. Those 3 words erased every resentment I'd built over the years. I raced inside expecting ambulances, doctors, chaos. Instead, the house was perfectly quiet. My mother stood in the kitchen, drying a spotless plate with trembling hands. She looked at me for only a second, then said something I'll never forget. Your father is resting. He asked for you. Something about her voice felt rehearsed. Almost nervous. Dad was lying on the couch. Pale. Silent. He reached for my hand. Emily. I need you to do something. I nodded. In the basement. Open the old safe. Mom instantly stepped forward. No. Too quickly. Too firmly. Dad slowly turned toward her. For 25 years. It's time. Neither of them looked at me. They stared at each other. Like 2 people standing at the edge of a cliff. I had never seen fear in my father's eyes before. Until that moment. Growing up, we were never poor. But we lived like we were. Every birthday came with practical gifts. Used bicycles. Second-hand clothes. Family vacations meant camping 2 hours away instead of hotels. Whenever I asked why we couldn't afford more, Dad always smiled. Rich people raise spoiled kids. Mom would laugh. We're raising a grateful daughter. I believed them. Completely. I worked after school. Paid for community college myself. Took out loans to finish my veterinary degree. Every paycheck mattered. Every bill hurt. Whenever friends talked about inheritances, I rolled my eyes. Must be nice. I never imagined I already had one. One worth $18 million. The Carter house always had one strange rule. Never enter the basement storage room. Ever. Dad kept it locked. When I was 8, curiosity got the better of me. I slipped downstairs while my parents were grocery shopping. The room smelled like cedar wood and old paper. Boxes stretched from floor to ceiling. Old paintings leaned against walls. There were dozens of filing cabinets. And in the corner, a massive steel safe. Before I could touch it, Dad's voice exploded behind me. Emily. I'd never heard him yell before. He grabbed my shoulders so hard I cried. You never come in here again. Mom rushed downstairs. Instead of comforting me, she looked at the safe. Not me. That memory haunted me for years. Life moved on. I assumed every family had odd secrets. Mine simply involved an old basement. When Grandpa Henry came up in conversation, Dad always changed the subject. He wasn't a good man. That's all he'd ever say. No stories. No photos. No holidays remembering him. It was as if my grandfather had never existed. Oddly, Grandma Olivia told a completely different story. Whenever my parents weren't around, she'd whisper things. Your grandfather adored you. He used to say you'd change this family someday. I laughed. I was 2 when he died. She'd smile. He knew. I thought it was grief talking. Now, I realized she was trying to tell me something. Grandma died when I was 19. At her funeral, an elderly man I'd never met approached me. Gray suit. Silver hair. Sharp blue eyes. You must be Emily. I nodded. I'm Charles Bennett. The name meant nothing to me. He hesitated. Then looked toward my parents. Your father noticed him instantly. The color drained from Dad's face. He walked over quickly. Whatever they said wasn't friendly. Charles eventually handed me a business card. If you ever have questions about your grandfather, call me. Dad took the card before I could read it, then slipped it into his own pocket. Later that night, he burned it in the fireplace, without saying a word. Years passed. Nothing happened. Until the phone call. My father's collapse. The basement. The safe. After Dad whispered those impossible words, Mom grabbed my wrist. No. Your father isn't thinking clearly. Dad looked directly into my eyes. I've stolen enough from you. Silence. The sentence echoed through the room. My heart began pounding. What do you mean? He closed his eyes, then whispered only 4 words. The combination is. He slowly recited 6 numbers. Mom began crying. No. 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 Dad finished the code, then looked at me. I'm sorry. I should have told you years ago. The basement felt colder than I remembered. Dust covered everything. Nothing had moved in decades. The enormous steel safe stood exactly where I'd seen it as a child. Waiting. I wiped away years of dust. Turned the dial. Entered the 6 numbers. The final click echoed through the room. For 25 years, no one had opened this safe. I pulled the heavy door toward me. Inside, there wasn't cash. There weren't jewels. There was only a single leather folder, a sealed envelope, and one faded photograph. I picked up the picture first. It showed my grandfather, holding me as a baby. On the back, written in elegant handwriting, were 7 words that made my stomach drop. Everything belongs to Emily. Tell her the truth. I stared at the handwriting, then at the unopened envelope. Upstairs, I heard my mother begin screaming.